Yours truly, Coach Amber J, and it is Key Talk Tuesday on BU Radio. Make sure that you are tuning in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Tonight, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone that watched last week's interview with our amazing key guest, Shanika, at the owner of One Cutie Boutique. She left some major keys on self care, keys on dressing up, drinking your water, staying active and looking good and feeling good and whatever it is that you wear. So make sure you check out One Cutie Boutique because she has some cute stuff over there for all sizes. So thank you for last week for everyone who watched. I want to give a huge shout out to my BU Radio family, all the hosts, all the producers, Nat Trail and the eye candy Alex over there, Apple Candy, his new name. So we want to just thank you all for tuning in and staying tuned in. Tonight's topic, well, actually, let me reverse. So each month we will focus on a theme, and as your coach, I will give you the keys to help you unlock the doors so that you can become the master key of your own life. So every month I'm giving you different keys that you can apply to become that master key. I'm welcoming March with open arms and gratitude and appreciation for all that it has for me. I'm expecting miracles and great things to happen all of this month, so I hope that you are too. This month, I am going to pull back the curtains for you guys and expose this sneaky little thing that paralyzes so many people. The truth behind forgiveness, what it really means to forgive someone, the lack of and the need for forgiveness, is one of the biggest challenges that many of us face. So tonight I want to, and the rest of this month, we are going to dive into this little pesky thing that a lot of us just can't shake, and that is going to be about forgiveness. So tonight I am so excited to introduce my guest. She's amazing, she's wonderful, she's powerful, she's strong. All in this little self is balled up, the amazing Coach Alicia Brown, author, speaker, and also again coach. So, and also my friend and sister in Christ. So I want to welcome her. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm not supposed to look at you.
Thank you, Amber. It's so great to be here.
Thank you for saying yes. It is an honor that you're here. And we're going to dive into some topics we kind of discussed a little bit right before we started. But before we get started, let me introduce yourself to the people. Who are you? What do you do?
Wow. Okay. I'm Alicia Brown. I go by Lisa. And I am an author, a coach, and a speaker, like she said. But I also am a minister of the gospel.
Yes.
Love Jesus.
Yes.
And just do whatever door he opens, I walk in it.
Yes.
So that's what I do.
Taking the key and open them, and he's the key, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. So you're an author. I know that you have several books out that you have published. Let's talk about those really quick before we go further, because that's huge. 3 books?
Yes, I have one. My first book was In the Shadow of the Steeple, because a lot of my ministry and a lot of things I do is for ministry burnout.
Oh, wow.
And for church hurt, and
Yes.
for those in ministry. So it was In the Shadow of the Steeple. And the second one was Why You Hating? Pride, jealousy, and envy, in the church. Because from the beginning of time, from Cain and Abel, there's always been that pride, jealousy, and envy thing going on.
Whew.
So we talk from the time when Lucifer saw and said, hey, I want to be like God, all the way to the Pharisees.
I need that
The Bible talks about pride. The book is talking about pride, jealousy, and envy. And then the last one, the third one, is an ebook, and it's on Amazon as well. And it's co-authored with my daughter, and it's called Let the Church Awake. And we're talking about all the racial unrest that recently happened in 2020. So, and what the church can do to support the people. That time. Yeah.
These titles are absolutely phenomenal. Like, I'm sure so many people can relate to church hurt, relate to, the injustice. Like, where can they find these books?
Well, they're definitely on Amazon. Like I said, you can go to Amazon, but I have an email, On Location with Alicia, the show I'm doing, on location with Alicia at gmail.com. So if you email me at onlocationwithalicia@gmail.com. Somebody can contact you, a team member, or contact you, give you information. If you want it, we can bring it to you, or we can connect, or you can go on Amazon. Either way.
Awesome. And Amazon has all 3 of the books?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. Well, congratulations. Yes. And those are some really heavy hitting topics, and it definitely ties into talking about forgiveness.
Yes.
So thank you again for coming and giving me your time and giving the people. And I know that tonight is going to be an amazing show because, again, dealing with forgiveness, so many people have a misconstrued conception of what forgiveness really is and why it's so important to forgive, and how it keeps you stuck and stagnant. So before we get started, I really want people to kind of know who you are, know a little bit of background about you. So you're also a speaker and a coach. How long have you been in the industry, and what kind of coach are you?
Oh, wow. You're going to make me date myself, Amber. That's not appropriate.
That's the self-love, self-care you should have did last minute.
I am been in the industry, I would say about 20 years.
Okay.
As a coach, as a pastor, however you want to look at it.
Mentor.
Been that way.
Okay.
And I coach. I'm a confidence coach and I'm a speaker coach.
Yes.
So I help people to develop a strength and a confidence and be impactful as a speaker. And I also do various, right now we're doing virtual online training because things are not live. So we're doing the virtual thing. So we'll have something coming up and we'll share that a little later.
Okay. Yes. Awesome. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
I need that. I need your services.
Come see me. Come see me.
Yes. So I know that we are going to dive into forgiveness, and I'm honored, and I'm was led to ask you because I know your testimony is very powerful, and you've went through some traumatic situations where I'm sure you've had to be able to forgive to get through those things. And so that's kind of what I want to dive in tonight. And then also just your perspective on forgiveness. How do you do that? What does that look like? So let's start there.
Yeah. Wow. Well, let's talk about what forgiveness looks like, period.
Yeah.
Can we talk about what forgiveness is? And I would say, for me, I think forgiveness is giving a person a pass. It's, if you have a contract on them, they've done some things, you have a list going on, tear up the contract, give them a pass, give them a pardon. Just like we just saw those different pardons, you're giving that person a pardon and you're saying, hey, I forgot it. I'm giving them grace. I'm extending grace. That has to be one of the first things that you would do in order to begin an effective process of forgiving. Because, there's forgiving, Amber, but, sometimes have you ever been to this place where you say, I thought I forgave that person, but then they walked in the room and I felt like
everything in me cringed.
Everything comes back. What happened?
Yes.
That means you didn't effectively forgive. You forgave, but it wasn't effective because it is a process. Sometimes, I'm telling you, it could be a long time and you could think you forgave and it comes in and you have to go through that process again. So forgiveness is basically when you say, I am extending grace. I'm allowing that person to. I'm just saying, forget it. It's a pass. It's done. That's for the other individuals as well as for yourself.
Yes.
Because you have to forgive yourself too. Because sometimes we don't forgive ourselves.
Very true.
And it's the same thing. The same thing we would do to other people, we do to ourselves. You know how you would talk about other people if you haven't forgiven them? You talk about yourself, but it's just self-talk.
Yeah.
Tearing yourself down.
Negative self-talk.
Sabotage. Negative self-talk.
Yes.
So it's still, you take yourself through that process of realizing that you have to forgive, you have to give a pass, you have to extend grace, you have to tear up the contract.
Yeah.
That's the first
I
thing.
love the way you broke that down about giving a pass in the contract. That is huge. I want to read the definition because I actually wrote down the definition. So I just want to give that definition of just what the forgiveness is: the intentional and voluntary process by which a victim undergoes a change in feelings and attitude regarding an offense and a willingness to excuse it. So have you ever had to forgive someone who would never be sorry? And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck at. But even saying, like you said, you just giving a pass. You're saying, this is excused. I am no longer choosing to be the victim, and I'm going to allow you to be released from holding you captive. I tell a lot of people too, holding on to unforgiveness is like drinking poison, hoping the other person will die.
Come on.
That contract
Yes.
that you're holding on to is null and void
Yes.
because they're not going to pay on it. You done drunk the poison. Now you're suffering. You're angry. You're bitter. You're stuck. Like you said, holding on to the unforgiveness begins to rot you because you're now can't forgive yourself. How did I let this happen to me? Why did this take place? Now you're angry. Now you're holding on and you're wishing and hoping ill on the other person, and it's affecting you. So it's so important. And when I say, so have you ever had to forgive someone who would never be sorry? And when I really think about that, this is a process that I had to go through for myself. I had to ask myself that question because there was a situation where a person passed away, and I know they can never tell me sorry. They can never come and apologize to me. They can never tell me, what I did to you hurt you or how it affected you, or would they even care? Or if they had the opportunity, would they come and ask me? What do you think about that?
You're right on it. You're absolutely right on it, because a lot of times we go through this thing of saying, I didn't deserve that.
Right.
And that's the reason why we can't forgive, is because we feel like we didn't deserve it. And so then it goes on and it's like, I deserve apology.
Yeah.
It's not based on what you deserve or what you don't deserve, because
Right.
life isn't always fair. You have to learn, no matter what, that you have to forgive. The same thing goes for me. My testimony is that I had to do a major forgiveness. My husband of 25 years, 26 years, my pastor, my best friend, took his life. Wow. And I had to forgive him. I had to forgive myself.
Wow.
I had to forgive the church.
Yeah.
But it was a process, and it was difficult because he's gone, right? So he can't apologize for it.
Right.
And I'm going to continue to say throughout this conversation, Amber, is that it's a process. So that's a process I'm taking myself through, that he chose to leave. He chose to basically reject us as a family and and me as a wife.
Right.
So I have to process that and go on, whether he's saying he's sorry or not.
Yeah.
I have to get past the thought of blaming myself, blaming him, and the unfounded and founded issues, and the stigma that's attached to suicide, not just regular suicide, but come on, a man of God, a pastor, it's even harder,
Right.
So, and then the church, because church hurt is real.
It's
very absolutely
real.
A lot of people will say that it's not real, but I'm here to tell you, friends, church hurt is real. And so that's a process for me. What I felt, like I said, what was founded and what was unfounded, and processing through that. And it's difficult to just let it go. I'm here to tell you right now, if someone does something to you and you say you can forgive them instantly, I would debate with you. Come see
absolutely.
me. I will debate with you because
Yes.
I can't believe that you can forgive instantly. It is a complete process.
It is a process.
And it goes up and it goes down, and sometimes you think you have, and then something comes to trigger it again.
Yeah.
So come on.
So when you say a process, because I know a lot of people, they're stuck there first, just the idea of saying, you know what, I'm going to choose to give this person a pass. And like you said, all the things that are attached to just your experience, the blame, the guilt, the why, the how, I didn't deserve this. What does a person that's in a space right now that is feeling all of these emotions, rage, anger, rejection, bitterness, hurt,
Come on.
go through, or what would be a start of a process to say, like, how can I do this? What does that process look like? Or how do they even identify they need to go through that process?
Well, the first thing is, it depends on you, who you are. And, you're a coach, Amber, so
Right.
you have to get to know a person and see how they deal with pain and how they react. Because more than anything, the first thing is you have to have someone to talk to.
Absolutely.
If you're going through something,
so step one, you guys,
yes.
take key. Have someone to talk to even help you understand what you're feeling.
Come on.
There it is.
Yes. And I'm going to even venture to say, plus a therapist. If you have a
Yes.
therapist and you're saying, oh, I have a therapist, that's good. But I'm saying besides a therapist, you need someone that you can talk to whenever you need.
Yeah,
and I'm
available to you.
I'm just going to go by Lisa. I'm going to tell you Lisa because I don't know you or what you may be going through right now. But for Lisa, I needed someone to talk to. I had lost my husband of multiple years.
Many
And I'm
years,
telling you, at nighttime, it's the worst. So I needed
Right.
friends to talk to when I was going through in the middle of the night. And I'm telling you, I have some shown up friends that will
that's what
talk
it is.
in the
Support.
middle
That
of the
just gave me
night,
chills there.
3 o'clock in the morning. And I had a friend that would have to get up that same day and go to work, but would still be there for me.
Yeah.
I have what you call, Amber, I call them roof friend squad. I have a roof
Okay,
friend
roof
squad.
squad.
There's a story in the Bible about a man who was sick, who was very sick. He was crippled, and they went to go see Jesus.
Okay.
And when they went to try to see Jesus, the house was full, and they could not get in. They couldn't get in no matter what. They were trying, and it's like they were stuck outside because they couldn't get in. His friends went on top of the house, made a hole on the roof, and lowered him down to get his healing.
Wow,
That's the kind of friends
I need.
Hello.
Yes,
That's the kind.
that's
roof
real
friend
friendship.
squad.
Ride or die.
That no matter what, they're gonna break through the roof to get you some healing and get you
Wow.
whole. That's what you need.
Yes.
And someone that you could talk to, that you can trust, that's not gonna have your business all over the place.
There
that
it
is
is.
mature.
There it is.
That's gonna be faithful. When you're going through, you need someone to talk to. You need someone to
that's
share your
good.
heart, and you need a roof friend.
And
what
that's
you need.
so powerful because even for myself, I remember saying like, can you just listen to me? I just need a vent right now. If I could just get this out, this, whatever this is, I'll be good. I just need to get it out. And even if you don't have that person in a moment, take key to a journal. Write your feelings out. If you don't have someone that you can trust in the moment, or you don't have safe people that you can turn to in those dire need moments, get your journal and write. It may not be the exact same, but you're not having these feelings that are playing tricks in your head because they're being repeated. So write it out. That is another tip you can use to just kind of get whatever feelings you need out in that moment, so you're not dealing with those thoughts that just running wild.
That's good.
So we're going to step 1, have someone to talk to. Have a journal if you don't have someone to talk to. If you don't have someone safe, what would you say step 2 is? Just to identify the process of beginning to choose to forgive, because it's also a choice. You got to choose to forgive.
Like I said, for me, I'm a believer. That's
Yes.
me. Okay, I'm letting you know for me. But so I would say number 2 is pray.
Pray.
You
yes.
gotta pray because you cannot do it on your own. You can't.
Yes.
You can think you've forgiven a person, but you need help. You need divine guidance to make you
that's
help you
good.
forgive a person. You can't. Like I said, I'm talking about Lisa. Nobody else, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not casting stones. I'm talking about Lisa.
Right.
There was a time where there was a woman in my life. I won't say she was a friend, but she was someone in my life that would get on my last nerve. Friend, she was on one. I'm telling you, Lord, it was just really, really hard every time I got around this person, and
Oh, wow.
it would take me out of character. It would make me,
Okay.
because she would constantly do things that would hurt me and that would offend me, and here I am trying to live a life
Right.
that's pleasing.
That's pleasing,
But
right.
Yes, but so I went to God and I said, Lord, you love her. You love her
that's good.
because you love everybody. Please let me see what you see in her.
Oh, Jesus.
Please let
There
me
it
see
is.
how you love her and what
Wow.
you love about her. Because I need you. Because every time I see her, I'm not seeing it.
Yes.
I know you love her, but I'm not seeing what you love. So please, God, I'm begging you. I'm asking you to show me. And Amber, it didn't happen right away. But one day I saw that woman and I saw something about her that was different. And I saw something that was genuine and that was loving. And I'm like, that was a God thing.
That
wasn't
God
a
thing.
Lisa thing. That was nothing that I could have done in myself. But I saw it, and you know what? From then on, I did not have the problems I had with her.
You know, that is powerful you said that, because the journey I took on my forgiveness with this person, remember, I said she passed away, so she couldn't even be sorry. But I remember saying, God, show me something that would make this woman do the things that she do. And for me, it was like, you just decided to die. which she didn't have choice over, but make me see where I see that whatever she was doing, whatever she was going through, that she was hurting that bad that she would want to make me hurt and suffer too. Show me something different so that I can be able to heal, because I'm angry, God. I'm mad. I kind of feel like she deserved it, but that's not what I really want to feel. But I remember that a similar prayer to that, like, show me her so I can understand. And that was where this program that I'm going to share with you guys later was birthed out of, is show me how to forgive. Show me how to let somebody go who I know may never be sorry, may never feel bad for what they did or what pain they caused me. Show me them in a new light so that I can begin my process, because I was angry. And like you said, sometimes you think that you've gotten over something and then you get triggered and it hits that sensitive spot. You're like, oh, hold on. All this unraveled. So that's very good. So step 1 is talking to someone. If you don't have someone to talk to, utilize your journal. Number 2, prayer, or get connected to your higher power. For both of us, it is Jesus, is God. That is our connection. Number 3, what would you leave the people with?
Number 3, I just would have to reiterate grace. Give them a pass.
Give them a pass.
Give them a pass. Tear up the contract. Say, it's not that big. I've done some things. Hey, for me, every day I do something. I'm like, Lord, why did I say that? Why was I thinking that? That was wrong, God.
Right.
So, every day you need a pass. I heard this one time, Amber, and it stayed with me for the rest of my life.
Okay.
I have given God a million reasons not to love me, but nothing has changed his mind.
Wow, that's good.
So that means that every day he's giving me a pass. Every time I'm doing something, he's like, nothing changes. I still love you, girl.
Right.
I'm still down with you.
Yes.
No matter what.
Yes.
So you have to learn to extend that grace and give that person a pass. Now, let me tell you, it's a head thing and it's a mouth thing. You're saying it, but the heart's going to have to follow later. It's not going to come automatic. You're going to still feel those things. And then, like Amber is saying, you're going to go through those keys again. You're going to go through that process. You're going to start all over again. Once again, I'm Lisa. Whenever somebody that I don't too much care for and haven't forgiven, because I'm not perfect, folks.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm perfect. I love Jesus, but sorry.
Hey, we're human. Don't let loving Jesus. That's why we stay close to him, because we need that grace from him.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I'll just say for me, and I'll just be transparent. Can I be transparent for me?
Yes, be honest. Let the people know.
That when somebody I don't particularly care for, or I'm having a problem with, or having a struggle with forgiving, when I can tell that I haven't forgiven them is when they walk up on me and I see them, all of a sudden my heart starts beating faster.
You get an emotion.
And I start feeling this heat coming from.
Oh, wow.
It starts feeling like it's going up all over my face. And I'm like, I
That's
haven't
good.
forgiven them.
Yeah.
I haven't forgiven them. Okay, God, I need to talk to somebody.
And you know what? That's really, that's a very vital key also, is identifying when you know you haven't truly forgive people. Because I hear people all the time saying, oh, I forgive, but I won't forget. Well, if you can't forget, that means every time you see them, you're going to be triggered, which means there's still some unforgiveness there. And in order to truly forgive, when you see somebody, they're not going to trigger you. You can see them, you can come in the same room as them, and there will be nothing they do or their presence should affect you. But a lot of times that is a vital key to realize, to know you truly haven't forgiven all of the parts. And there's some major parts that a lot of people miss in forgiving. They think, well, I forgive that person, or I forgive the situation, but sometimes it's deeper than that. We got to forgive the scent of the time. We got to forgive that day. We got to forgive ourselves. We got to forgive God. And like you said, in the journey of forgiveness, there are many elements in this process of forgiving. And so that is also very important, is that it's not only forgiving the person, it's forgiving yourself. It's forgiving who may have been involved, your higher power as well. A lot of times we're like, okay, I forgive them, but you got to take those other steps as well.
Yeah, and let's touch on that, because for me, like I said, I want to be transparent, because I want us all to be healed and be walking in wholeness. And when my husband did what he did, I remember, for me, someone had said to me, girl, I don't know how you doing it. If it was me, there's no way. I'd be so mad right now. And I said to her, are you kidding me? I can't be mad at God. God does what he chooses to do.
Ooh, that's good.
And I said, I just want to be in his will. Well, later on, Amber, as things began to happen in my life, I realized that there was a little something. I was a little salty with God.
Right, yeah.
I was feeling a little something inside.
That's true.
I didn't realize that I did, and I had to go back to God and say, God, I don't understand. I've been saved all my life since childhood. I was a good wife. I try to be a good mother. I don't understand. I don't know why you would allow this to happen to me. And I heal my heart from it.
Yes.
And so sometimes it's a matter of honesty.
We're trying to
be all pure and holy and trying to say, oh no, I'm good. It's
I'm
God's will. The Lord give it, the Lord take it away. No,
right.
Lord, I'm a little somewhat cold on you right now because you did this thing to me, and I don't feel like I deserved it. Once again, when you feel like you didn't deserve it, you got to walk that thing out.
You got to walk that, and then you also got to take inventory because you're like, I didn't deserve this, so how did this happen to me? So now you're that's where the blame comes in. That's where the sabotaging, the self-talk, like, well, maybe I'm not a good person. Well, maybe I wasn't this. You start looking for reasons to say why this happened, and it doesn't have to be your reasoning, right? And sometimes God doesn't even reveal to you later on why these things took place or how they took place or what the purpose is in it. But there's always a greater purpose. But I think, like you said, just walking through that process as well is like, why did this happen? And then that part too is where you got to also be able to forgive, because that why starts with an anger question behind it. It's some anger, it's some resentment in there, it's some, I don't understand. When you don't understand something, it brings that tension, and that's where I think opens the unforgiveness, because you just don't understand,
That's
so
good.
For me in my process, those were a lot of my questions. And I remember just saying, you know what, God, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm holier than thou. I'm angry, God. I can't comprehend how you would allow this to happen to me. What did I do to deserve this? And I remember those are the places where, this journey of forgiveness was birthed through me, because he took me through that process. He took me through a phase of showing me, you got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive me. You got to forgive that person. You got to forgive the people that were involved. And I'm like, but they don't deserve it. I'm the one hurting. I'm suffering. They don't deserve it. And he, again, it was like, it doesn't have anything to do with them. You're up at night crying. You're the one angry. You're the one in misery. You have all these questions. Your mind is wandering. You can't focus. It is not about them. And so I really want for all of my listeners to understand that forgiving someone who has wronged you is not about them. No. It has nothing to do with them. It is about your peace, about where you plan to go, what you want for your life. Do you want to be happy? Do you want your joy restored? Yeah. That's where that comes in at. And holding on to those feelings of bitterness and anger, those people are sleeping at night. The people you're holding on to, that contract you're keeping, they're sleeping at night. They done moved on with their life. They don't even, and the other part too, some people don't even know that you offended them or that you're angry with them. Sometimes we need to even just have that conversation, like, you offended me. Yes. You hurt my feeling. But I think a lot of times people don't even know you're holding on to this unforgiveness, and the other person that you're holding captive is moving on and living their life. And so that alone should be a reason to say, you know what, today I'm going to make a choice to free myself. Not even them, free myself. So how could you, or what can you say in this space that you are now, that you've done this processing and journeying through these years, that you can say the importance of choosing to forgive? Because it's a choice to constantly be able to forgive and go through the process, right?
Yeah. And like you said, forgiveness is for you. So for me, I'm constantly, I listened and watched you last month, and you were talking about self-care.
Yeah.
And forgiveness is a lot about self-care.
Yes, it is.
It's a lot about taking care of yourself and looking for yourself, your own personal healing. For like you said, forgiving yourself, forgiving others. That is what is totally key. nothing else. I mean, you can't continue to live on. You can't be the best version of yourself if you haven't forgiven and you're not getting completely whole. You just can't. And we talked about in the beginning, this is what effective forgiveness looks like.
Yes.
You can forgive and you can think you're okay, but if you're not going through all these processes, you're not forgiving effectively. It's like this. It's like if you hurt yourself physically and you're bleeding, you're going to get help immediately. You're going to get a Band-Aid. You're going to go to the doctor. You're going to get stitches. You're going to do whatever you can to take care of that wound.
Yeah.
Well, when you get hurt and it's an unforgiveness issue, it's a spiritual, emotional, mental wound.
It's a wound,
and you have to do whatever you can to completely heal that.
Yes.
Effective forgiveness so you can get completely healed.
Right.
And move on, or otherwise you're going to cut it open again and you're going to be bleeding over everybody.
And that didn't hurt you.
Folks not going to want to be around you, girlfriend, boyfriend, because you are constantly bleeding on them. Yeah. And I don't want to be around Lisa because she bitter. And when I was going through my situation, when I was in my hurt and my pain, my prayer constantly was, Lord, make me better, not bitter.
Yes.
Make me better, not bitter.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. Constantly be looking at yourself and see what can you do to get yourself healed no matter what. It's for you.
It's for you.
So constantly cure yourself, trying to put that Band-Aid on and do whatever you got to do. Go through the process of getting your healing.
And two, a good thing is like a Band-Aid. A lot of times we're putting Band-Aids on things that need stitches.
Yeah.
You need to go to the doctor. They need to crack that bone back into place. Like, it don't need a Band-Aid. A Band-Aid's not going to fix it. And so that's another thing is being honest about it is what they did to you. It affected you. It hurt you to the core. Admit that. I need more than a Band-Aid. A Band-Aid's not going to fix this.
Yes.
I need the stitches. I need to take off and rest for 6 weeks and put my foot up because this is broken. And a lot of times I think people are not even allowing themselves to heal or even identify that they've been wounded that bad either by what has happened. And it's okay not to be okay, but you can't stay there.
Come on.
And a lot of people are stuck. You're stuck right there in that hurt, in that anger, in that bitter, in the offense. And it's time to be freed. It's time to be healed, not just for them, but for yourself. So you can be, like she said, the greatest version of yourself. And whatever that looks like for you. But you won't even be able to see the version of you because all you see is red. All you see is anger. All you see is hurt. And so to even get clear, the start is to heal. I was doing an event yesterday and I felt led again, like you can't be successful and get to that next level of success if you are still operating from this place of anger or bitterness. Unforgiveness will tie into every aspect of your life, relations, friendships, money, health. All of those things are all tied into that one little thing, which is probably unforgiveness. Most likely it's going to be from unforgiveness. And so you got to get clear about that, and you got to really choose. And I say choose because you can choose to stay angry, bitter, lonely, broke, unsuccessful, not thriving, or you can say, I'm going to choose to release them because I want to be better. And so my hopes in this show is so that you can start to see yourself. You can be aware of yourself, no longer be a victim, but become a victor over your own life. And that's how you become the master key of your life. That's how you begin to heal. That's how you begin to get to that next level, is looking at you. Do you have any words to add to that?
No, that's good, Amber. You're right on it. You're right on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good.
So we are going to take a quick break. And before you do, make sure you guys stay tuned. Make sure that you are giving us some love, some likes, some shares. I do see some comments in here or some feedback. So I'm going to read those before we head off to this break. Thank you, everybody who is chiming in. Make sure that you guys are sharing. Somebody needs to hear this. Somebody is waiting for someone to make it make sense. And hopefully tonight is the night that makes sense to you. It doesn't matter what they did to you. It doesn't matter how long ago, how current it was. It is time to let them go. And it's not for them. It's for you. It's for you to get to your next level. So thanks. I see Coach John Kurt on here. I see Chrissy Renee. Hey, Chrissy. It's scary to face it. It's a battle every day. Some are not aware of their trauma. Absolutely. And we're going to talk about trauma because unforgiveness is definitely rooted in trauma. Yeah. Self-care daily. Self-care is sitting with yourself. You got to sit in those emotions. You got to identify them. You got to recognize them. You can't heal from something you don't even identify. Hey, Malik. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into the trauma and identifying that and being aware.
K and K.
Hey, mama. Hey, ma. I can sing too. Let me show you what I got, ma. I could be in the studio just like you. Let me show you.
Ladies and gentlemen, to Edition.
It's been a journey, it's been a ride. I just really want to testify that I am. So I am. It's been a journey, it's been a ride. I just really want to testify that I am. Yes, I am. I am loved. I am light. It's gonna be alright. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. It's been a journey, it's been a ride. I just really want to testify that I am. Yes, I am. It's been a journey, it's been a ride. I just really want to testify that I am. Yes, I am. I'm loved. I'm light. It's gonna be alright. Yes, I am. 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 It's been a journey, it's been a ride. I just really want to testify that I am. Yeah. Yes, I am. It's been a journey, it's been a ride. I just really want to testify that I am. Yes, I am. Yeah. I'm loved. I am loved. I'm light. I am light. It's gonna be alright. Yes, I am. 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 I'm loved. I'm light. I am light. It's gonna be alright. Yes, I am. 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 I'm loved. I am loved. I'm light. I am light. It's gonna be alright. Yes, I am. 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 I am loved. I am light. It's gonna be alright. God told me to testify. I'll give you this love. Be alright. Be alright. Be alright. It's been a journey, it's been a ride. I just really want to testify that I am. Yes, I am.
Well, hello. Welcome back. It is yours truly, Coach Amber J. And I have the amazing, phenomenal Coach Lisa Brown here with me as we are discussing and exposing, pulling back the curtains on that little sneaky thing paralyzing so many, which is forgiveness. We are going to get to the root of it. We are going to hopefully open up your mind so that you can be aware, how you can process, how you can let go, and why it is so important on forgiving it is truly a process. And Lisa has dropped some major keys, and I want to just reiterate those for those that are just now chiming in. And I love what Chrissy Renee put on here. She said it is a daily battle every day to forgive. So starting number one is having a safe person to talk to, someone you can trust, someone you can air out all your dirty laundry and know that it's not going to go anywhere. If you don't have one of those people, another option is using a journal, releasing those emotions and feelings and thoughts in your head. Number two was getting in your prayer closet, getting in your space with God, and just connecting, letting him have all of those things. He said he is near the brokenhearted, and forgiveness breaks your heart. I mean, it can break your heart, right? Somebody offends you, it's going to break your heart. The last one was, I can't remember the last one. Grace. That's the most important one. Grace is giving people a pass, excusing it. Those are so important. You want to reiterate anything on that, Lisa?
That is key. I think that's kind of self-explanatory, but
right.
Yeah, you just remember those. And whenever you find yourself in that situation, go step by step. Okay, wait a minute. Do I have someone to talk to? Because you know how we'll do it. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Good. I'm fine.
What do they say? I'm blessed and highly favored. I used to hear
that stuff start rising up on you. And you're
right.
Like, well,
everything start coming out sideways. You going off on people, and you like, wait. Oh, maybe I'm not good. Yeah. Maybe I'm not okay. Why am I emotional today? Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
And I think another one may be, Amber, is knowing yourself. Because like I mentioned a little earlier, when you know how you respond when someone upsets you, and you know that, like I said, my heart started beating.
Yeah.
And I started feeling a little hot. Know yourself. And when you know yourself and you know that person is rubbing you the wrong way, start going through the process right then and there. Don't say I'm good. Start going through the keys.
And it's really important to identifying your physical body, because like you said, for you get hot. Mine, I would say, like, I would feel like this in my stomach, like something don't feel right. Oh no, I get tense and I can feel it in my stomach. So identify where that comes up for you in your physical body, because that's also what unforgiveness does to you as well. It literally becomes something in your body, your physical body. And so that alone should make you realize, okay, this is deep. If this, I can feel it in my body. This is deep.
That's good. Yeah.
So being able to identify that and say, okay, this is what I need to do, and go through those keys. Who can I talk to right now? Okay, who can I need to pray. I need to get this out of me right now. And then also, you know what? I'm going to give them grace so I can process. Like, I'm going to excuse them right now, because those keys are so vital. And the more you are aware of your triggers, of your feelings, of your emotions, the more time you spend with yourself, the more you're able to go through these processes, and they become so much easier, where you don't have to write it all out and do it in step by step. It will just become automatic, and you'll find yourself giving more people grace, forgiving easily, not being so offended, not being so angry, so bitter, and just letting things go. I see Kana in the comments, and she said, forgiveness is so important. After I let the anger go, I feel so much lighter. I have more peace in my mind. Yes. Absolutely. It's like, when you forgive, it's like you declutter your mind. You free yourself. And I know it to be true even for myself, because this incident that took place for me was in 2019. And all of 2019, until I would say about September of 2019, I was struggling. I was angry. I was mad. I would just keep replaying over and over and over and over what this person did, how it could have been different, why this. Like, it took up so much space. And I hear a lot of people say, you're allowing people to live rent free in your head. Rent free. Like, evict them, evict those feelings and let it go. Be freed from it. Yeah. And even for me, I can attest with Kana, I felt so much better. And it's huge to identify that it was a process, because I remember, I thought I went through this process and I got it all out. And then January hit, And I realized, because this incident took place in January of 2019, January 2020 hit, and I started feeling angry. I started having these, and I'm like, what's going on with me? And then I was emotional. And then I realized this was the time frame that this took place. And so I went back to therapy. I'm like, I need to see you every week. Like, maybe 3 times a week, because these things are coming up and I don't know how to deal with them. I thought I forgave them. I thought I released it, and I didn't. So these keys are so, so important, you guys.
That's so good. Can I interject something?
Yeah,
You said
absolutely.
something. You tapped into something that really got me, is that our body has a clock.
Yeah.
It actually has a clock. My husband passed away in February,
Oh,
and his birthday is in September. And there's sometimes on February, I don't even know that it's the date. I don't even know what date it is, but I'll
Right.
wake up that morning feeling sad or feeling like this just doesn't feel like a good day. I feel
Yeah.
ick today. And then all of a sudden I look at the calendar, or I see the date, and I find out it's the day that he died.
Yeah.
Your body has a time clock, and it will like give you signs. Wait a minute,
Yeah.
something happened. There's triggers and things, and you'll we talk about. You mentioned trauma. I guess maybe this
the
might even be a good
that
time
ties
to even
tie in the trauma.
when you have trauma, you will constantly go back. You will rehearse it in your
Yep.
mind. It will constantly, no matter what. It's like even a girl, and I hate to use this analogy, but a woman who's been raped, she can go down a street that's similar to
Yeah.
where she was raped, and it will trigger that, and it will take her right back to where she was, because
Right.
it's triggers and body clocks and all these different things. God made us so intricately.
Yeah, he did.
And that's why you have to go through those keys every time you feel it. Something's not happening right. Something's not right.
Not
you
right.
know, in me. Okay, I got to stop. I need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, it was his anniversary. Today was this, and
Yeah.
and go through it all over again, and be okay with, don't say, I've been going through this, and now it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
No.
And there's no time limit
No.
on it. I think that's another thing. People want to put time limits on healing. There's no time limit. Vicky also mentioned in the comment too, right before you started, there are places also that trigger you. And so, like you mentioned, you go down a street, and it may not even be that exact street, but it has similarities, and that can trigger you. So I can't remember exactly where it was, but I remember years ago that trauma sticks to our soul. And so that's why it's so important to do the soul and spiritual work of the impacts that take place, and because it will stick to you, and it will be a memory. And even for me this year, 2021, I didn't feel the impact of things that happened for me in January, but I also had trauma so 2019, I had back-to-back traumatic situations that took place with different, very important people in my life. And so I remember in February of this year, I was triggered, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I got on Facebook, and I had a memory, and my brother was shot 16 times in 2019 in February. And I remember, like, I just had all these emotions this year, and I'm like, oh, I didn't deal with this one, because I was still impacted by January of 2019 that I didn't deal with the February of 2019. And so we got to remember that if you're going through traumatic situations and things are happening, you have to deal with them one by one, and each of them are a process, and you have to be open and willing to do the process so that you can become healed.
So good.
And you can become healed. And even for me, like I said, I had back-to-back traumatic things take place in my life in 2019. I would say the first 5 months, it was like I couldn't even barely process the first thing before another thing was taking place. And I was just going. I didn't process through any of it. And then 2020 took place, and I was able to deal with one part of it. And then, even 2021, like I still kind of find myself like in February, the beginning of February, like all these questions I didn't have time to ask then. I kind of asked myself, like, did I do anything? Could I have done something different? Like, I know my brother's okay now, but I wonder, all these just different questions. And I even had to go through a process of forgiving myself in that situation as well. Like, what could I have done different? And had to release myself and say, Amber, you did what you could do at the moment, and forgive myself. So you really got to get still and really get to know who you are. You really got to know what it is that you desire to, and also give yourself grace.
Yes.
Give yourself grace. Sometimes we don't know. If you are the person that offended somebody or you hurt someone, you also got to be able to sit still and want to forgive yourself as well, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the same thing. Tear up your contract.
Yeah.
Give yourself a pass.
Give yourself
It's okay. It's okay to forgive yourself. And I think, really, honestly, Amber, I think we are worse on ourselves
Yes.
than anybody else. We will beat ourselves up.
Ourselves. And
yeah.
you know, I share with my clients, I'm like, listen, your homework is that you treat and talk to yourself as if you were an infant. If you wouldn't treat an infant that way, if you wouldn't talk to a newborn baby that way, you do not iterate those words to yourself.
Yeah.
Talk to yourself gently. Talk to yourself sweet. Treat yourself like that infant, especially when you are going through trauma.
That's good.
You have to love yourself back to wholeness. And that's why I'm so big on it all starts with you. It all begins with you, and the same measures and techniques you would use for your child or for someone else, you have to do it with yourself. And the more you love and fill yourself up, the easier it is to do it with other people. If you can't let go of yourself and forgive yourself, it's going to be very hard to forgive other people, or truly forgive them. Because like you said, effectively forgive someone if you can't effectively forgive yourself or even love yourself.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. And you were talking a little bit ago about trauma.
Yeah.
It's so much that, wow, that's detailed, because it's even generational trauma.
Yeah.
A lot of us are dealing with stuff our parents did.
Yes.
Our parents parented us a certain way because they had their own trauma.
Yeah.
And then it went to that generation, and then my kids are dealing with things that I was raised with. So now they got their own kind of trauma because I took them through and now my grandchild is dealing with. So we have to really make sure that we are taking ourselves through a process and healing our family totally. I mean, I know that last summer when all that stuff went down, all the racial unrest, folks got triggered. Folks was getting triggered left and right.
Yeah.
And even, come on, let's keep it real. White folks got triggers.
Yes, they did.
Karens were everywhere.
Karens were everywhere.
Because
they were lit too.
They got triggered.
Yeah.
A lot of white people have fears, and all of a sudden it was their worst nightmare. Black folks angry.
Yeah.
So folks were
That's
triggered.
true.
I mean, I saw one. Somebody was in Walmart, and some guy said something to him, and a white brother pulled out a gun and was pointing the gun at him. It's like he hadn't even done anything, but he was pointing the gun. But brother, he was triggered, so he's like, "Oh, shoot me!"
Right.
Shoot me.
I'm telling you, during that time, tensions were extremely high, and that's again the generational things, because all this trauma has never been dealt with. It's just been overlooked. So
then that's the trigger. So then you're triggered, and then you're going to not necessarily respond as you need to, because you're not going to take yourself through the process. I don't think last summer when all this stuff was going on, anybody was taking themselves through processes.
No,
they were like, I'm mad, I'm angry. Everybody gonna know I'm bad. You gonna know it now.
And I've been in the house all this time, stuck with people that I can't forgive either. So now I'm gonna take it out on everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you have to continue to go through those processes, no matter what, no matter how deep. Because like you talked about, sometimes you can't bandage things, but sometimes some things are just a Band-Aid. It's just a scratch.
Yeah.
You getting upset about something that's just a scratch.
Yes.
And then some people have deep things that need stitches.
Right.
Some people have things that need to go into the operating room.
Yeah.
It's from level to level to level.
Yes.
But understand that and take the moment to learn it and look at it and see, wait a minute, this is what it is. I'm getting mad at Amber because she scratched me.
Yeah, just a scratch.
Yeah.
Something that's going to go right away. Absolutely.
Go through the process and look at it. Was it really, really that deep? Or did it, Amber, that little scratch, trigger something in you that reminded you? Because I think it was Robin Williams who died also of suicide. He said, people are going through daily, everybody's going through something you know nothing about.
That you know nothing about. And the way to be freed from that too is to deal with these things. You don't have to deal with it alone if you deal with it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be alone in your silence. There's so many people here to assist you with that, but that forgiveness will paralyze you where you don't want to talk to anybody, where you will be in silence. And so I want to break the silence that you don't have to be alone. And to begin the process is to start with you and say, I'm going to choose to be healed. I'm going to choose to release because I don't want to be stuck. And that may mean you have to be vulnerable. You have to be honest, but it all starts with you first. Stop saying you're okay when you're not okay. Stop saying that, it'll be all right. No, it's not. They hurt you. Speak up for yourself. Speak on those things that have affected you. And then you won't have to harbor the unforgiveness. You can hash it out in that moment. But we are coming to the last 4 minutes. And so before we end, I want to let people know, if you want someone to be able to journey through with this, she is available. Tell people how they can contact you if they want your coaching services. Also what you have coming up. Let the people know how they can get to you.
Okay, I'll first talk about what I'm coming up because I'm so excited.
Yes.
I'm grinning from ear to ear. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Starting Monday, March 15th, I will be hosting my own TV show called On Location with Alicia.
Yes.
And it's a talk show at Grab It TV. And we'll just go to different places. It's not just going to be here in Las Vegas. We'll go to California. We're going to visit different places.
Oh, wow. States, cities.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
awesome.
So if you have a location, if you have a business, if you have a coffee shop, if you have a place and you think, hey, Lisa, come visit me, send me that information at onlocationwithalicia@gmail.com.
Yes.
And our team will get with you and see if we can fit you in and see if it works with the schedule. But we would love to come and visit you. So that's where you can get in contact with me.
City or state near you.
Yes.
That is so cool.
And
congratulations.
Thank you. We're going to be talking about some great things. We're going to be on location having heartfelt conversations.
Ooh, that's
so
good.
It's just not going to be on location talking about the location. We're going to be talking about death, suicide, shame, COVID, the lockdown 1 year later, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. So
those are good topics.
That's going to be really, really good. And then on Friday, April the 16th, we're going to have a virtual experience. When you speak with power, how to be a dynamic speaker.
I'll be there.
And it's going to be a great virtual experience. So follow me on Facebook, Alicia G. Brown, if you wanted more information, or send an email to On Location with Alicia, and we will put you on our email list, and we will let you know what we're doing, when we're doing it, and how you can get involved.
Yes.
Did you ask me something else besides that?
No, your coaching services, but all that's through Alicia. On location at Gmail. Oh, wait, say it again. Go ahead.
On location with Alicia at gmail.com.
Yes. So make sure you guys stay tuned. She is a powerful woman in all aspects of life. So make sure you are following her. Thank you so very much for coming onto the show. I truly, truly appreciate you. I love what you're doing. I'm so excited for you. And like you say, you're just taking the opportunities, the doors that God is opening, and you are using them. So thank you again. I am Coach Amber J. You can find me on Facebook, social media, and everything else. I also have a 7-day intense forgiveness program. If you said, you know what, some of this resonated with me, I'm tired of carrying this, I need to let some things go, you can find that on it should be on here, but if not, you can find it on my website at thekeytochanginglives.com, or you can inbox me and I can send it to you. But let's get healed, let's get freed. All of this month I am offering this forgiveness program. Also, one-on-one coachings. Book a free 30-minute purpose call. Let's get healed. Let's walk in purpose. Let's be what God has designed us and created us to be, and that is to be the greatest version of ourselves here and operate in our purpose. I love you all. Make sure you stay tuned. Thank you for sharing, and we will see you next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Bye. We love you. Thank you again. Have an amazing night.
Outport. PMG. For Music Group. Come on.
It's your life, yeah. It's your life, yeah. It's your life, yeah.
Hey, say, Nate, come
When I think about your mercy and your glory poured up on me, Lord, I thank you.
Lord, I thank you.
Yes, I thank you.
Yes, I thank you.
When I think about your mercy
out your goodness and your mercy poured